Hey, Richland High School. This is Coach Holmes here, and I'm about to talk to you about transport within plants. Uh, Again, that's transport within plants, not transport of plants, because plants themselves, they're not really great at moving, but they are great at moving stuff around within them. And in this picture right here, you've got water and carbon dioxide and oxygen and sugar. You've got minerals down here in the soil. And within the plant, all that stuff has got to be moved around from place to place. And we're going to talk about what the plant does to move them from place to place. So we're going to start in the leaves. And what process occurs in the leaves? Oh yeah, that's right. The process that takes sunlight and changes it into energy, that's photosynthesis. So up here in the leaves, we are performing photosynthesis. And the product of photosynthesis is sugar, or as we call it in science, glucose. And glucose in the plant has got to be stored somewhere. So we make it in the leaves, but we don't store it in the leaves, or plants don't store it in the leaves. They got to move it somewhere. And this purple arrow right here represents glucose, and it's moving out of the leaf back down into the stem. And from the stem, it goes all the way down the plant, close to the roots, maybe even into the roots where it's stored. Phloem moves food around in the plant. So now let's go look at the bottom part of the plant. We start at the leaves. Let's go look at the roots. Here down in the roots, we're absorbing water, and dissolved into the water we're absorbing is minerals. So down here in the roots, water and minerals are both being absorbed. And in order for photosynthesis to happen in the leaves, the water's got to get from the roots to the leaves. So what's going to carry the water from the roots to the leaves? Well, that's the job of xylem. Xylem carries water from the roots to the leaves, and xylem's a lot like phloem. Again, it's like a blood vessel. It's like a vessel in a plant, and it only goes in one direction. This time, though, xylem goes from the bottom to the top, because xylem carries water from the roots to the leaves. And here's a good summary of everything. Coach Nelson likes to say that xylem is the water asylum. You can think of xylem as being focused on water. It's carrying water from the roots to the leaves, and that's its only job. And phloem keeps them growing because... Alright, so the second part of transportation within plants is taking a look at the specialized tissues that actually do all the moving. There are actually different organs in a plant, I guess you could say. Your body has different organs. Your body's got a heart, which is good at pumping blood. You've got a brain, which, of course, is good at helping you think. You've got lungs, which are awesome at absorbing oxygen. Well, plants have three main organs. They've got the leaves, they've got the stem, and they've got the root. Each of these has that vascular tissue, or the xylem and phloem, dispersed throughout it in different patterns. So you could actually look at a leaf and cut it in half, same with the stem and the roots, and figure out what part of the plant you're looking at just by observing the vascular tissue, or the xylem and phloem. Now the cells within the leaf, and the cells within the stem, and the cells within the root are all a little bit different because they're specialized at doing different jobs. And we're going to see what makes them different right now by starting with the root. The cells in the root have more surface area to absorb water and nutrients. Because of the surface area, they also anchor the plant to the ground. So you can see a plant root reaching down into the ground. If you zoom into that root and look at an individual cell, you can see that it looks like this. It's long and it reaches out. It's trying to maximize its surface area in order to absorb a lot of water for the plant. And there are two basic types of root systems. I'm sure you've all seen this kind right here called a taproot. And it looks like a carrot, kind of. Carrots are actually a taproot. They have a big bulky root reaching down, as opposed to fibrous roots, which disperse their roots into tiny hair-like roots which just go every direction. Okay, so cells of the roots are specialized for absorbing water and anchoring the plant to the ground. Now let's look at cells of the stem. Cells in the stem are specialized to transport materials, provide support, and protect against predators and disease. These first two are very important. Cells in the stem transport materials. That's a big one. They transport materials from the leaves to the roots, and from the roots to the leaves, just like we talked about with xylem and phloem. And then they also provide structure and support because they have to support, or the stem supports the entire weight of the plant. Alright, last one is the leaf cell. Here's a leaf cross section. You can see all the different stuff in the leaf. We're going to talk about just a few of these because cells in the leaves, we're going to say, are specialized for photosynthesis. A great example of that is the chloroplast. And then water loss prevention, the guard cells. Here you can see a tiny little guard cell. The opening that the guard cell controls is called the stoma or stomata.